Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Talladega for race 23 now of the 2004 season. We have made it to week 30, if you can believe it. The cars are circling around this 2.66 super speedway. We are here at happy hour. There's about a minute left, and we'll kind of go over some storylines going into the weekend. Right now, as you see, there he is. Rusty Wallace is now driving that 9 car for Evernham Racing, or Motorsports. Bill Elliott suffered a horrible crash we'll cover in the pre-race tomorrow. This is Saturday afternoon. This is right after the Truck Series race, where David Rudiman won in the 75 truck. But Bill Elliott was leading happy hour. Now he drops to 4th. Um, yeah, he's driving that number 9 Dodge. Not the first time he's been in that 9 car, but yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully Bill Elliott rests up. He can be ready to go for next week. I believe it's Kansas. But yeah, you see this pack racing right here. These guys are going to get 3, 4 wide. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get hectic. But thank you for tuning in to Happy Hour, and we'll see you tomorrow in the race. And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Talladega. This is race 23 of the 2004 season, and it brings us to Alabama. This 2.66 super speedway, 2.66 mile super speedway. Um, Yeah, we got a good one here on deck for you guys. This one's going to be crazy. We got 45 laps. Um, it's going to be pack racing. We'll go over the practice and qualifying, see where your favorite driver practice and practice one. Covered the 9 story of Rusty Wallace coming back for one more race this season. We'll have to see if he comes back at any more. He qualified 10th. We'll have to see if he comes comes to a race or two the rest of the year. And this was happy hour. We got Joe Nemechek up top. Alrighty, so there's the all the practice sheets and everything. But yeah, this one should be good. I'm excited for this one. Like we said, there's a bunch of really cool tracks coming up, and this is one of them. So the last year's spring race, Jimmy Johnson won that race, and in the fall, it went to Ricky Craven won in the fall. And if you remember in the spring, Rusty Wallace and Ryan Newman had that insane finish. I believe Jeff Gordon was also part of that photo finish. That was an insane race. I just really want to talk about the channel, the YouTube channel. If you're watching this, hey, thank you for tuning in. My initial, and it still is my goal. Um, this is just kind of for archive. You know, if I'm bored, go back and look at the series as it grows and stuff. But I don't know. It's interesting because like this was the first race I posted on YouTube and didn't do any commentary. Um, was not a huge fan of my voice being on the internet, and now we've done a full season calendar year, whatever you want to call it. Started in 2003. This is 2004 now. We're getting ready to do the 2005 season. It's grown a lot. I've definitely learned a lot, and I've enjoyed this series a ton. If anybody out there is even getting a quarter or an eighth of entertainment that I am receiving out of this, that is my goal. If somebody out there is finding this entertaining, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you following along. Um, but yeah, I just thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. And if nobody enjoys, I'm still gonna be posting it. I am a fan. That's what I love about NR is you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, the AI are very unpredictable, and you never know who may win who last week. I mean, I thought Sterling Marlin had it wrapped up. He pitted, and then it shifted to Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt Jr., and I thought they were gonna win. But no, I mean, sitting fourth was Casey Mears, and then he had the lead with what, 2 to go, and then it shifted again to Ken Kurt Busch and who was it? Was it Bobby Labonte? Kurt Busch and Bobby Labonte had the fresher tires. Could they catch Casey Mears and pass him? You just never know. And I would love to do iRacing AI and do these kinds of videos, but this is so unpredictable. This is so much fun. Um, I appreciate if anybody out there is watching. I just wanted to say thanks. Um, with that being said, we'll go down to pre-race and we'll get this race rolling here for you guys, and I'll stop yipping.
Drivers, to your cars.
As the NASCAR officials are calling the drivers to their cars, we'll give you a gander at these paint schemes here. This is Talladega. This is the 3, 4, possibly even 5 wide. These guys are probably going to wreck within the first 5 laps or so. Going to cause a big one. It's going to be all about, can you get through that big wreck? This Ricky Craven back here won this race exactly 1 year ago. We'll have to track his progress throughout the field. It's gonna be all about dodging the big wreck, keeping your track position, and if you got to pit, who are you gonna pit with, and how are you gonna negotiate that. But yeah, we'll get the command to fire engines, and we will officially do the starting lineup.
Drivers, start your engines!
There's the command to fire engines down here at Talladega. And the cars will begin to roll off. Let's go through your starting lineup. Like last week, this week it's Hendrick. Last week it was Roush, the front at least three. They had the first four, but this week Hendrick's got the first three. Row one inside, Jeff Gordon to his outside, his rookie teammate Brian Vickers. Then we got Jimmy Johnson inside row two to his outside, uh, Kenny Wallace. Holy cow! Then we got inside or outside row three, Joe Nemechek to his inside, Elliott Sadler. Then we got Ryan Newman outside row four to his inside, Elliott Sadler's teammate Dale Jarrett. Starting 10th, Rusty Wallace. Starting 9th, Steve Park. Then we got a Joe Gibbs duo in row 6, Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart. Then we got Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick. Behind Kurt Busch, his teammate Matt Kenseth to his inside, Jamie McMurray. Dale Earnhardt Jr., watch for him. He should be a favorite here tonight or today. Jerry Mayfield's lining up on his inside. Mark Martin's on the outside of Robbie Gordon. Then we got Terry Labonte to his inside, the Flash, Greg Biffle. We got Michael Waltrip, very, very fast on super speedways. Not quite in Talladega. Daytona's more his forte. But look for him to be quick in the DEI 15 to his inside, last week's winner. We got Jeff Burton, Ricky Rudd, your Watkins Glen winner. Sterling Marlin to his inside, Jack Sprague. Something's wrong with Dave Blaney behind these guys. Ward Burton, Randy LaJoy. We'll kind of go through the rest of it here. There's Dave Blaney down there on the apron. The 22 is now on the apron. There's the back half of the field there. What is going on with these guys? Looks like there might be some faint smoke coming out behind the 77. Hopefully there's no oil on the track. But as that pace car is going to make that left-hand turn onto pit road, as these Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolets are going to lead us to green. And the flagman waves the green flag. These drivers stand on the gas, and we are green from Talladega. As these guys fire off down into turn three, they're already four wide. Joe Nemechek's getting hung out to dry. Jeff Gordon's got the lead. Elliott Sadler, Bobby Labonte's going to have a head of steam coming down this front stretch. Now, unlike Daytona, where the start-finish line would be right there, Talladega's start-finish line is all the way down here. There's Dave Blaney down there on the apron. He got service. I'm not sure if they were able to figure out the solution. And Ward Burton's down in turn 3 and 4. They said the tire went flat under pacing. Whoa! Mears gets turned. Johnson, Kurt Busch, Sadler. They wreck big time down the back. As you see these torn up race cars. Last time there was a big wreck on the back, Bill Elliott went flipping. As Dale Jr.'s taking a peek to the inside of Gordon to the completion of lap 2. There goes Greg Biffle, Michael Waltrip, Terry Labonte lined up on the inside. DEI is trying to get lined up here, but Biffle caught up in that wreck last week. Didn't get money points. He's going to grab a bonus point here if he can get in front of Junior, and he does. Now these guys are going to have to lift because the pace car, they got to check up for it without running each other over. There's Jimmy Johnson, got a bunch of damage. Wallace got damage. Nemechek looks pretty clean. We'll have to take a look at the right side. There's Mike Skinner. Kyle Petty's got damage. Matt Kenseth, your point leader, has damage. Yeah, Kurt Busch is all torn up. There's Brian Vickers. Mark Martin Sadler's got damage. Rusty Wallace has damage. Ryan Newman, last spring's winner, appears to have damage. Let's go look at that wreck and see what started that. We saw the 41 get turned sideways first. So these guys are barely not even up to speed. You see Robbie Gordon right there is kind of doing a squeeze play there on Terry Labonte. Trying to look to the inside of Kurt Busch. There's Terry Labonte. Johnson goes to the inside of Sadler. Now they're 5 wide. Kurt Busch pulls down. Gordon pulls down. Tags the 41. Tags the 48. The 5, the 33. The entire outside line. And then they come down. Tag the inside line. Now the track is blocked. Nowhere for no one to go. Hard hit for Kurt Busch. See Kyle Petty getting air back there. And that is easily half the field torn up. Here's a different angle here. Yeah, it really all started when Jimmy Johnson moved down to kind of make it 5 wide there, and everyone just kind of got squeezed all together. I don't think there's nothing like major damage. It's just a lot of crinkled up metal, and we'll have to see how that does arrow-wise. Alrighty, we are going through 3 and 4. There was extensive cleanup. We're already restarted on lap 6, 40 laps to go. The 4, the 48, the 45, the 17, the 84, the 97, and the 9 are all out of the race. The 77 is 1 lap down. The 18, excuse me, has got a tire going down. He's going to pit from the 11th spot. So we got 3 DEI cars all in the top 5, and they're all chasing Greg Biffle. But with Matt Kenseth being out of this race, he will be scored with a 39th place finish, which I believe is like 4 to 5 points, which is going to kill his points today for the championship. But we are back green from Talladega here. Dave Blaney really slow down there on the bottom. As we got Ryan Newman, Jeff Green tried getting up, Jack Sprague is going to get held up. This is going to completely separate the back half of the field. Ryan Newman, one of our favorites, he's going to have a tough time getting caught back up, especially with all that damage. The 19, how much damage does he have? Doesn't seem like a whole lot. Right side looks clean. He should have some decent speed. There's the 88, the 2, the 1. All these guys should have speed and be favorites to win. So here comes Jeff Gordon, help from Michael Waltrip. He's going to lead yet another lap. There goes Kevin Harvick to the inside. He's going to bring Tony Stewart and that silver Home Depot car to the inside. There goes Steve Park going way low, help from Dale Jarrett. That'll put Stewart in the middle of 3 wide. Michael Waltrip, Jamie McMurray up top. McMurray's going to bail on Waltrip. As the 8 and the 1 are drafting on the inside. Steve Park's going to pull low. He's looking aggressive early. There goes Ricky Rudd going to the middle. Dale Jr. is looking up the inside with help from his teammate. Harvick's looking high. Dale Jarrett's going to split him up the middle, and that'll allow the 2 and the 24 to clear. Can Steve Park get a run and try and lead himself a lap? Remember, next year, Steve Park driving that 2 car will be driving that 1 car part-time, and he will be teammates with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip. He's going for the lead himself. Rookie Paul Menard looking to the inside. Help from the 80, Mike Bliss. Ooh, Tony Stewart to the back end of, I believe that was Jamie McMurray. He had a handful. Was able to hang on for now. And so it looks like there's about 18 competitive cars in this main pack. after that big early wreck. Dale Jr.'s chasing the one up, trying to help him. Can Mike Bliss and the Joe Gibbs racing car come up there and try and lead a lap? Michael Waltrip's going to the inside. Biffle's going even further down the inside. Steve Park will lead this lap. As now Tony Stewart's going to make it 4 wide for second. Yeah, the outside line by yourself is not where you want to be. You want to be down there on the inside in the draft. As Tony Stewart's super defensive, and McMurray's going to pull out a line, get to the inside. He wants to make it 2 in a row for Chip Ganassi. These guys fire off into turn 3. There's Bobby Labonte. Remember, he pit under yellow. Dave Blaney's coming out of the pits. These guys are all going through 1 and 2. As you saw last week's winner right there. There's Dave Blaney. Meanwhile, back up front, here comes Jamie McMurray. Last time by was 11th. And looks like he might lead this lap. And he does by 200ths of a second. There's Ward Burton sitting 4th. He's jumping teams next year. Not sure where he will go. There's Ricky Rudd trying to win 2 races this season in that Wood Brothers 21 car. We got Terry Labonte, Michael Waltrip on the inside. Michael Waltrip, Ricky Rudd go to the middle. They're 4 wide in the middle of this pack once again. There's enough room for it, but it sure gets tight. As you see right there on your left hand of your screen, Dave Blaney's awfully slow. There are 4 wide right here. Blaney's in the middle. Mike Bliss has to jam on the brakes. Dale Jr., Jeremy Mayfield, these guys all check up for him. And that's going to split this pack in half. They just can't find a way around Dave Blaney. And NASCAR is going to call Dave Blaney to the pits. Can't reach minimum speed. And this will be interesting. Guys like Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, these guys cannot be 3 wide. They got to get in the pack. They got to get single file here and draft up to this main group. Like these guys are doing right here. Dale Jr.'s trying to hang on. Here's last year's winner, Craven. Jeremy Mayfield. They're trying to catch up. As we switch to Elliott Sadler. Now he has an issue. He's down there on the apron. Looks like he's got a tire going down. So right there, Ricky Craven, Jeremy Mayfield trying to draft back up. I just completely just split up the field. Split up this main pack. Excuse me. So you see the front 5 are all going to be single file. Is Greg Biffle, he doesn't want to listen to me. He's going to go for the lead help from Ward Burton. So you see Tony Stewart right here. He's trying to draft up to this main pack. Trying to grow it. And then these guys are all single file here. Dell Jr. noses his way to the inside of the 10. Ricky Craven's trying to hang on to the 19. These guys, they might be okay. They just ran their fastest laps of the race. See, there's Elliott Sadler coming out of the pits. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett has now taken the lead of this race. We'll have to see how Elliott Sadler blends. Does he slow down the 23 or the 8? The 10 is awfully slow. Is the 80 car blowing up down the backstretch? That's who was missing out of this first pack. Yeah, looks like there was maybe fluid on the track, but I'm not sure if NASCAR is going to throw it yellow here. Is there 4 wide, just around the 20th place here? Dale Jr., Paul Menard trying to draft with Elliott Sadler. And now Steve Park pulls to the left. He's got an issue. The 88 and the 16 are now on the fence. As you see, Ken Schrader and Casey Mears are now slow. Tony Stewart, Terry Labonte, Kevin Harvick, Michael Waltrip got a free lane up the inside. They're going to clear. And again, this will continue just to kind of break up this pack. But this will kind of allow these guys back here to kind of catch back up. That 8 car is looking pretty quick. He just needs to be a part of this main group. And this main group is split down to 5 cars now. Tony Stewart leads Harvick, Terry Labonte, Michael Waltrip, Ward Burton, Jamie McMurray might still be in the draft. We got Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, John Andretti, Ricky Rudd, Casey Mears, but here comes Biffle, way quicker than Mears. He's going to look to the outside. He's going to have to draft with these guys. Bunch of tiny little packs right here. Ward Burton is now caught up. There's Ryan Newman. Look out, Newman. As he's now going to slow up this first pack, except for Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart's getting way out there. Now this pack of 6 cars, as they're going to leave Newman. Now these 4 cars are going to catch up to these 5 cars, and they're going to go track down Tony Stewart. Now they're 3 wide for second. It's going to slow down the 88, the 21. There goes Dale Jr., Elliott Sadler, Paul Menard. They're looking at trying to get around Greg Biffle. There's the 19. They're trying to get around the 41, the 49. And we got these damaged cars all drafting. There's the 2, the 80 on pit road. There's Bobby Labonte off of 4. Here comes Tony Stewart off of 4. Does John Andretti have the draft? There's Dale Jarrett, Ricky Rudd. His Dale Jr.'s up to 11th now, trying to scratch and claw his way back up to this main pack. Meanwhile, Ward Burton's going for the lead. They're going to blow by Stewart. They're going to leave him up to the outside. Now he is clear of the 1, the 24, and the 29. They're trying to draft, go to the inside of the 1. Jeff Gordon's going to be super defensive, hold off the 29. So we got 7 cars in this main little group. Then we got these guys. The rest of your top 10. And then we got Dale Jr., Paul Menard. And then lap down, Elliott Sadler. Jeremy Mayfield's trying to draft. Biffle's trying to stay to the back end of the 19. There's the 10 and the 32. I think the 88 and the 21, they're trying to work together. They might get to the back end of this. Oh yeah, they're going to be there. John Andretti's going to try and hang on to the back of their draft. These guys are going to have to be efficient if they want to catch back up. There goes Jamie McMurray into 4th. He's going to boot Tony back to 5th. Ward Burton, Terry Labonte. They're trying to get to the inside of the 20. Michael Waltrip makes an aggressive move, trying to go for 2nd. Kevin Harvick thinks different of it. So they're going to catch up to Bobby Labonte here. Next time by will be 26 laps to go. See down there, Steve Park is now coming out of the pits. After his, I believe, was a flat tire. There's John Andretti. There comes Dale Earnhardt Jr., Paul Menard. This second group, just outside the top 10. Mayfield, he just needs some more help. The 10 and the 16, these guys are not, either they got some damage or they're just not efficient enough, and Jeremy Mayfield is just unable to draft up to these guys. If Mayfield can get up to this group of 3, that'll help out a ton. John Andretti has fallen off the 21 and the 88. So now that leaves a pack of 9 right here. Well, this pack of 10, but Bobby Labonte's one lap down. That's going to promote Kevin Harvick to the lead with 25 laps to go. See, these guys are going halfway down the backstretch. They're coming off of turn 2 now. See, Dale Jr. is now catching John Andretti. Mayfield is, his hope is the two can stay attached. And maybe this group can draft up to the back end of these guys. And he's hoping the 43 will slow down this pack. Dale Jr. is going to go high. That's going to kind of shorten up his momentum. Now they're going to be side by side. Can he clear the 43? The 23, he's going to go low. They're going to go 3 wide. Dale Jr. is able to clear. Now the 2 is going to go to the inside of the 19, which is just going to kill his run. And this main pack is pulling away. They were 4 wide for the lead. Bobby Labonte is able to get his lap back. Michael Waltrip's going to shove him. There goes Jamie McMurray, trying to get his first career win. There's Dale Jarrett. Kevin Harvick's back down there on the bottom, trying to sort out a run. And they're all chasing lap down car Bobby Labonte. There goes Harvick looking to the inside. Dale Jarrett's going to let him have it for now. As Jeff Gordon's looking to the inside. Harvick looked like he didn't want to let him have it, but kind of gave it to him. At the line, I think it was Harvick by inches. And it was. There goes Paul Menard, Elliott Sadler to the inside. John Andretti. Can Dale Jr. get down in front of the 43? Now the 2, the 19, they are side by side. These guys need to get single filed out, and they need to draft, and they're not doing that. Meanwhile, back up front, Harvick tried looking to the inside and said he's going to go 3 wide. Tony Stewart's looking to the inside of Labonte. And Jeff Gordon will lead. So you see that now the 49 is slow again here. There's the 33, the 5 side by side. 20-mile-an-hour speed difference. And now NASCAR has called the 49 to pit road. Oh, he's going to drop down in front of the 88 and the 18. They got to go high to get around him now. But that will help this group of 4. And now these 2 and 3 cars have made a pack of 5. And now they're drafting, but they need to get single file. Now the 43 is going to make that left-hand turn. Ken Schrader, I believe his day is done. Now these guys, now they need to get single filed out to catch this group here again. Next time by will be 20 laps to go. Tony Stewart currently leads. Kenny Wallace drops down in front of the 24 here. Here comes this main pack coming up on the 41. NASCAR is calling the 41 to the pits. I believe his day is done as well. Over 8 seconds off the pace. 20 laps to go. Will it be Michael Waltrip? Will it be Tony Stewart? Tony Stewart will lead at the line. There's Kenny Wallace. Brian Vickers are slow. They're trying to draft. Catch back up. There's Dale Jr. These guys are all trying to work together. Just trying to scratch and claw their way back up into this main pack so they can battle it out for the win. Speaking of going for the win here, Ward Burton has a great shot. Dale Jr., I'm sure, would love to get up here and work with his teammates to try and get a DEI victory here in Talladega. See Bobby Labonte, Terry Labonte, they're leading this pack right now. Bobby Labonte's one lap down. Terry Labonte is your leader. So you got Jeff Green, Jack Sprague damaged going side by side. Mark Martin's damaged. There's Robbie Gord going through 1 and 2. Even on super speedways, getting through lap traffic is going to be a tall task. And probably a major decider in who wins this race. Terry Labonte's looking low. Harvick gets underneath Terry. Help from Ricky Rudd. Jamie McMurray, Tony Stewart to the inside. Ward Burton gets to the inside of the 15. And that's going to check up the 88, the 1, the 24, the 15. Gordon barely sneaks to the inside of the 1. And that's going to kill the 1 after leading that last lap. He's going to fall all the way to the back end of this field, or the back of the pack. Now they've caught the 12, the 31, and the 6. And now who can get around the 6 here? Now NASCAR has called the 12 to the pits. He has not reached minimum speed. But what this has done, though, is kind of shaking up this field with the 0 and the 12, and then you got the 31 here, the 6. All these lap down cars, the 72, he seems to have some speed. Looks like he just lost the draft. We know he's quite good, Jeff Green, and that 72 car. They're good on super speedways. But these guys, this second pack of Dale Jr., John Andretti, and Paul Menard have kind of caught this first pack. But Terry Labonte is starting to lose touch with the first pack. And as these guys are courting back together, Michael Waltrip will be your leader. Dale Jarrett's going to force 4 wide, and that's a big capital F on the force. Nearly caused a wreck. Now, if you're this main pack right here, you have shucked out the 1 of Terry Labonte and the 8 of Dale Jr. Dale Jarrett, Robbie Gordon's on the apron. What has happened? Well, that caused a yellow. No yellow. What happened? So look at 31 blew up in front of Junior. Junior's in the fence. Robbie Gordon slid down to the apron, was able to kind of get out of harm's way. And Junior lost a ton of momentum. Junior Nation will, or Junior fans will not be happy about that. Especially with the no yellow call. NASCAR is saying there is oil down into turn 1, or turn 3. This will be interesting. Who will get the lap? Let it 15 to go. Ricky Rudd, but not by much. As the pace car is speeding out of the pits onto the track. Oh, Gordon and Bobby Labonte make a little contact trying to slow down. That'll happen sometimes. Especially with the pace car being right there and the yellow coming out. But now Dale Jr., he's going to have some damage. Look out. These guys got to really apply their brakes when they catch the field like this. Yeah, there is some debris on the track. This will allow NASCAR to clean it up so we can get a shootout here with like 10 to go. Alrighty, we are headed off into turn 3. We got Ricky Rudd, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jarrett, Ward Burton, Tony Stewart, your top 5. Kind of look in your top left here of the cars who are out. Yeah, Steve Park is 5 laps down. There goes the pace car. Is going to make a left-hand turn. As Bobby Labonte was able to get the wave around there. There's the 8. This will be interesting with all the damaged race cars. Who's still competitive and who was not. But here we come. Flagman's holding the field. Hold him, hold him. Go through this long, curving front stretch. And we are green. Harvick's going to make a right-hand turn, go to the top. Where will Dale Jarrett go? Who will he help? They're 3 wide for the lead. Now Ward Burton's got the preferred lane on the inside. We'll have to see how these guys slice and dice through traffic. See Biffle down there on the apron, or not on the apron, but towards the apron. These guys gain speed, gain momentum as they are trying to latch onto the back end of this main pack. So yeah, like these guys back here, looks like they're already going to lose it. The 18, the 8. I think the 8's got damage now, so he won't be quick. They're 4 wide up there. The 43, the 16, the 10, the 19, maybe the 32, but it's going to be tough if they can all latch on. Plus, you got lap down cars in here, like the 72. He's 1 lap down, but he's got speed. The 38, the one's on the apron. The one's all over the place. Jack Sprague, he's a lap down. That has killed the inside line. The one is still down there on the apron. Not sure what happened to Terry Labonte. He just radioed to his team he's lost his brakes. That is not what you want at a place like this where you're going 180, 185 miles an hour. If you need a brake, you don't have brakes, it could cause some issues. What that has done again is split and separated this pack. Kevin Harvick's trying to catch up. There's Elliott Sadler, John Andretti, Greg Biffle, Ricky Craven's down there on the inside trying to draft, trying to keep up with Biffle as these 3 cars are going to try and catch up to the back of this field. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett's going for the lead. As Jamie McMurray currently leads, he's inside the line. Everyone's just trying to draft, trying to catch up to this main pack. Today's drinking word, pack. As Dale Jarrett's got the lead. Ward Burton's up in there. Look at that couple teammates right there with the 23 and the 22. Rookie Paul Menard's going for his first career win. 9 laps to go. Dale Jarrett by a hair over Ward Burton. John Andretti has now caught up to this main pack right here. Tony Stewart. And Jack Sprague hang on right here. Now Bobby Labonte on the inside after getting the wave around, way down out of the way. He said that engine has expired on that Joe Gibbs racing car. And speaking of Joe Gibbs, we got Tony Stewart up in the lead, followed by Jeff Gordon, Jamie McMurray, and John Andretti. Driving that petty Dodge. As to the inside goes McMurray. At the line, give it to Gord, but not by much. This is really cool, even if John Andretti does not win. Right, that 43 and 45, those guys have struggled all year, especially the 45 team. I'm not sure why or what's going on with those guys, but they are on the struggle bus this season. They are unable to pretty much do anything right. Nearly won this race. It'd be really cool to see that 43 in victory lane. But here comes Ricky Craven trying to win back-to-back fall Talladega races. Help from Jeremy Mayfield. Remember those guys were trying to scratch and claw their way back into this main pack? Well, they have done it. And now Ricky Craven sits second. And now to the inside goes Elliott Sadler, but he is one lap down. He is not in contention to win this race. And Ricky Rudd is going to make it 5 wide for second. Craven clears, or Mayfield clears Craven. Greg Biffle is on the door of the 29, trying to squeeze by Andretti. As McMurray still leads, there goes Rudd. He got a taste of victory. He wants to go back to victory lane. Paul Menard, he wants the sweet taste of victory. What can he do to win this race? Harvick has had a pretty down season. He would love to return to victory lane for RCR. So he's going to peek to the inside. There goes Steve Park, and he helped a dodge to victory. 6 laps to go. As now they are 5 wide. Michael Waltrip, Jeff Gordon, Ricky Craven, Buckshot Jones. Who's going to lift? Somebody's got to lift, right? Craven pinching hard. McMurray's going to lift, let Gordon up. It is now just like that. Tony Stewart is now back in position to possibly win this race. It's going to be all about timing, all about positioning your race car on where you want to flow to the inside of the line. Or inside line. There's Terry Labonte slow by himself. Meanwhile, off of turn 4, Stewart yanks the wheel hard. He's going for the lead. Ricky Craven goes around, last year's winner. No yellow, not yet. Still down there on the apron. As we got cars down through the grass. NASCAR had to throw the yellow. I was kind of upset it wasn't thrown sooner. As Ricky Craven was broadside. Yeah, as Tony Stewart was yanking that wheel, he was blowing up. Got into the side of the 10. And they're spilling all oil all over the inside line. And then right here, Dale Jr., Jeff Burton, Joe Nemechek, these guys go through the grass to try and avoid the 32 car. Meanwhile, the race back. We got Tony Stewart, John Andretti, Steve Park. NASCAR will try and get this race restarted. It's coming down to 5 laps to go here. This is a really important thing to undermine because Steve Park's multiple laps down. But Elliott Sadler, if he can hang on, he will win the wave around here. Lucky dog. As Ward Burton's looking for second. There's a lot of dodges in that 20 years rear view mirror. As McMurray's going to get a draft up to second. As we pick up live here, we're going into turn 3. And we'll see if we can get this thing restarted here. Alright, NASCAR was able to clean it up as soon as possible. And we got Tony Stewart, Steve Park, there's Jane McMurray, Ward Burton. You got to see the 88 down there on the apron. He actually had a tire go down. NASCAR's going to have to figure out with these engines and these tires going down. Remember, fall Daytona, there were a lot of tires and engine issues. I thought it was because of the sand and the debris down there, but NASCAR's going to have to figure something out because there was been a lot of issues. 31, the 8, yeah, the 18, the 31, the 01 blew up, the 80 blew up. But, anyways, meanwhile, we're going to get a restart with 2 laps to go here. Tony Stewart gets a great jump. Who's going to win? Talladega. You see these guys right here. Where do they go? Steve Park's in a very compromising position. As there goes Ward Burton, John Andretti. Paul Menard go to the inside. They're going to get a really big run here on Tony Stewart. There goes Steve Park looking to the inside. He's going to move Stewart off the bottom, which is going to give Ward Burton a huge advantage. Paul Menard's trying to get to the inside of Andretti, and he does. Kevin Harvick follows. Ricky Rudd. Jeremy Mayfield follow. We're coming to the white flag here. Can we stay green? The white flag is out. Final lap. Can Ward Burton hang on? Kevin Harvick's in a great spot. Ricky Rudd throws it to the inside. Jeremy Mayfield, he's in a great spot. Ward Burton's not in a hugely compromising position because he's in the twos draft. Ricky Rudd shoves his way to the inside. Mayfield looks up the inside. There goes Michael Waltrip up the inside. Who can carry the momentum? Everyone was jockeying for the inside, but Ward Burton was able to carry the momentum. Can Jeremy Mayfield draft past Ward Burton, or can Michael Waltrip make a move? Mayfield goes low. Waltrip to the middle. Ward Burton's going to be high. Mayfield, Ward Burton. Mayfield's in the twos draft. Jeremy Mayfield wins at Talladega. Dodge finishes 1-2. Michael Waltrip finishes 3rd. Greg Biffle 4th. Jeff Gordon gets another top 5 at Talladega. No win. Jamie McMurray finishes 6th. John Andretti 9th. Paul Menard 8th. P7 is going to go to Ricky Rudd. Tony Stewart does not finish inside the top 10. Kevin Harvick does. Jeff Green finishes 20th. Dale Jr. finishes 16th. Brian Vickers 22nd. There's Elliott Sadler finishing 15th. Dale Jarrett 19th. Steve Park. And there is your winner, Jeremy Mayfield for Evernham Motorsports. Remember, those Dodges, those guys did not update their car, did not upgrade their car. After the final upgrade period of the season, they are focused solely on 2005. And there were 3 Dodges inside the top 6. 5 of them inside the top 9. Very, very impressive stuff. Another race that went almost an hour long. But here are your final results. Mayfield, your Talladega 2 winner. See, 4 cars failed to reach minimum speed there. Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, not good point states. Greg Biffle, great rebound. Jeff Gordon, top 5 right there. We'll take a look at these updated points. I'll be right back. So this was the winning move here by Jeremy Mayfield. At the white flag, he was 9th. Was able to get down to the bottom, got behind the 21, had the 15 coming behind him. And now, this was a really interesting, I thought this would have been a great move by Ward Burton. Pulled up, got in the draft with the 2, and now the 21 goes to the bottom, goes to the middle. And now he just kind of doesn't have draft. The 22 was able to kind of keep the lead, what ultimately gave the draft to the 19. And then, right here, Mayfield pulls it to the left, gets a big run off of 4. Is able to draw even with the 22 here. Michael Waltrip moves up, tries to get the draft off the 22, but the 19 was able to draft off the 2 for a second, and at the line, was able to win. So these are the points following race 23 at Talladega here this afternoon. Matt Kenseth still your winner, or still your points leader, 4 wins on the year. But Jeff Gordon just got his 10th top 5, and he now pulls into second, only 12 points behind Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth has had a tough last couple of weeks, and we'll have to see Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth. I mean, Jimmy Johnson is still 71 points back, down to 7th in the points. Jeff Burton moves up. Newman moves down. Biffle moves up 2 spots. He's 34 back. Harvick moves up. Kurt Busch moves down. Mayfield jumps 3 spots. Nemechek, Marlin Jr. all lose a spot. Ricky Rudd jumps up 4 spots. Mark Martin sitting 16th. Um, yeah, he's got 3 wins on the year, just a lot of DNFs, a lot of inconsistency. Tony Stewart's in 23rd in the points is kind of shocking, but yeah, so that's that. Thank you for watching Talladega. Um, I have officially done a full season's calendar worth of races to post on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy. Um, yeah, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy sharing my ideas and this little world thing I've created. I love messing around with NR. I love rosters, making schedules. Um, I appreciate if anybody out there is enjoying this, but you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you. I believe it's Kansas next week. Yes, it is Kansas next week, but congratulations to Jeremy Mayfield and Dodge and Evernham Motorsports for winning Talladega. And yeah, thank you for everybody for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day.